Mama, welcome to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Michelle Gibbs, and this podcast exists to help scholarly mamas like you to achieve your life and academic goals without sacrificing what matters most. Here, we're changing the overwhelm, juggle, struggle narrative around what it means to be a mama on an academic journey to one of empowerment, fulfillment, and purposeful success. So how do we successfully navigate these journeys? Well, first, we need the space to embrace this unique blend. Let's begin by saying yes to creating a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside, because that's when we truly become purposefully whole. So get ready for the most non-traditional, unconventional, and revolutionary approach to PhD motherhood, because one thing I have learned over my many years of experience on this journey is that if you want something different, you have to do something different. But you must be brave enough to think differently first. So, Mama, are you in? Fabulous! Let's begin. These are our journeys of becoming. Imposter syndrome. We have all been there. We have all experienced this. In fact, if you are a scholarly mama, this is pretty familiar territory. Hey Mama, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. And as you can probably tell, this episode is all about busting these myths of imposter syndrome and really recognizing that you are stronger than you think. You are so much stronger than you think. You see, imposter syndrome makes us feel like we don't belong, we don't deserve to be there. And to be honest, even beyond imposter syndrome, when you are navigating a PhD journey as a mama, it is so tempting to believe that you don't belong there. It is so tempting to believe that you can't see your PhD journey through to completion. It is so easy to feel that this journey ahead, this mountain, is impossible to climb. So if you've ever felt that way as a mama navigating this journey, these thoughts are not uncommon. You're not alone in this. You're not alone in feeling that sense of, do I really belong here? Can I actually achieve this goal? Or am I just an imposter? Am I taking someone else's place here? And it's so easy to feel this way because when you don't have examples around you of people who've done this, with similar circumstances that you are actually facing at the moment, it's really tempting to feel that, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe this is just a pipe dream that is never actually going to happen. I'm just kidding myself to think that I could do a PhD, do it well, navigate home life and be a present mom, enjoy my kids and my family, my spouse. Maybe this is all just a dream. And when we don't have those examples, we don't have those role models to help us to see ourselves in them, help us to see that this actually is possible, we can easily fall into the trap of feeling that it is not possible and that we can't do this, especially when the journey gets really tough, because it is going to get tough. If it hasn't gotten tough for you yet, brilliant for you. But for most of us, that is definitely not our reality. And it's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking, oh my goodness, am I enough to achieve this goal? Have I got what it takes to get this PhD done? And also because doing a PhD is no easy feat. Doing a PhD as a mama is 10 times harder. So no wonder we get stuck in these cycles of feeling like we can't do this, feeling like we haven't got the resilience to get through it, feeling like it's just all too much, right? I have been there. I have been in the throes of the juggle struggle. I've been in the pits of it, right? The lows, because it's a roller coaster. Doing a PhD as a mama is definitely a roller coaster ride, and there are highs, and we celebrate those, we embrace those, we acknowledge those, we embody those, but there are also lows, right? There are also the times where you feel like you just are not enough and that you can't do this. So I want to speak to that in this episode because I know, mama, that you are stronger than you think. And I want to share with you 10 reasons why I believe that you are stronger than you think. So the first one is these brains of ours, right? Your thoughts are just your thoughts. Your thoughts are only your thoughts. And I remember reading some time ago that your brain's only job is to make your thoughts real. It's a protective mechanism that our brains want to make our thoughts real. And so whatever thoughts we're having, or reactions, or feelings, or emotions, or behaviors are going to align themselves with that thought. And so it's really important that we recognize that our thoughts are just our thoughts. And quite often, especially when you're having these thoughts of, I can't do this is too hard, I'm never going to do well in my PhD. Who am I to think I can do a PhD with kids? When you're having those thoughts, they are not true. Not every thought that your brain offers you is true. Your job is to cultivate thoughts that are constructive, that are helpful, that remind you that you are enough, that you deserve your place there. You belong there. You belong on this journey of scholarly motherhood. Those who have gone on to achieve what you want to achieve, they are no better than you. You deserve to be there as well. And so your thoughts are only your thoughts. Okay. The second sign that you're stronger than you think is that not everything matters, right? I know it's very easy to feel overwhelmed by all of the hats that we wear and all the things that we do, but not everything matters, and not everything matters right now. And I know that feels and sounds like, what is she talking about? But I have realized one of the biggest lessons I have realized is this one, that not everything matters. And just because something matters to someone else doesn't mean it has to matter to me. Just because other people are obsessed with prestige, with pace, with progression upwards, doesn't mean that that has to be my first priority as well. Their priorities do not determine mine. I determine my priorities. I get to decide what my purposeful blend will look like. No one else can determine that for me. And it's my job to set and enforce boundaries so that the things that really matter can be prioritized. And the other thing about when you realize that not everything matters and not everything matters right now, it also helps you to remember that you don't need to go from zero to hero. You don't need to suddenly put certain things that perhaps were at a different place in your priority list in a particular season of life. You don't have to suddenly elevate those things to the top of your list, sacrificing the things that do matter to you. So this isn't about going from zero to hero, right? You are more than capable of achieving your goals without having to go from zero to hero. So when you put that into perspective, you realize I've actually got more power than I think. I am stronger than I think because I don't need to go from zero to hero in order to succeed. So that's number 2. Number 3 is that you still have time. It's so easy to get caught up in this scarcity mindset of there's not enough time to do all the things. Mama, you have enough. Cultivate an abundant mindset with regards to time. There is enough time to get everything done. That just requires a bit of strategy and first setting those priorities and boundaries, as I mentioned in the second point. But there is enough time. There's enough time for what matters, right? The fourth sign that you are stronger than you think is you have come thus far. You didn't get to where you are by luck or chance. I suspect if you are a mama who is juggling PhD life, parenting, motherhood, home life, marriage, relationships, whatever you are juggling on this journey, look back and see how far you have come. Make time to reflect. Make time to really think on the things that you've done to get you where you are. When you reflect on how far you've come, think about what worked for you on this journey. What helped you to get this far? Perhaps it's your unwavering strength in being able to hold the belief that this is possible for you, that your goals are possible and achievable for you. Maybe it's your ability to build connections, to build meaningful relationships that encourage you and enhance your journey. Maybe it's your faith. Maybe that has been the number one thing that has truly kept you going in a purpose-driven way on this journey so far. Maybe it's your ability to reflect deeply on the past and be able to really make sense of the opportunities before you so that you can create a better future for yourself. Maybe you've been blessed with some unique talents and skills that you assume are just normal for everyone. But when you really think about the fact that these are the things that have gotten you through so much in the past, so many experiences, so many challenges, so many hurdles, you realize that actually not everyone is doing what you're doing. Not everyone can do what you're doing. You know, some of these talents and skills could be unique to you, and you get to go out there and use those talents and skills to support and help other people, even if that means just being a shining light for others who are on the path to where you are now. So when you are tempted to believe that you are not strong, you are not capable, you are not able to achieve your goals, think about how far you have come on this journey. And remember that all those things that we talked about, all those hidden skills and talents that you possess, those are signs of your inner strength. You are stronger than you think. The fifth clue that you are stronger than you think is you have an opportunity here to really embrace this new identity of being a purposeful, scholarly mama. That identity carries weight to it. You are not just, meandering through, drifting through this journey with no thought or intention about where you are going and why you are on this journey. No, scholarly mamas are goal-driven, but we are also intentional. We are ambitious, but we are also playful and creative. We are purposeful, but we are also resilient and have tenacity. We are intelligent, but we are also nurturing and loving mamas. We are scholars, but we are also mamas with whole lives outside of academia. That's what we are as scholarly mamas. Stand proudly in that identity, because a lot of people would not be able to do what you're doing. So don't allow other people to determine your self-worth. Know and love yourself. You are a purposeful, scholarly mama for a reason. So come join us inside Scholarly Mamas and wear your scholarly mama hat proudly. The sixth sign that you are stronger than you think is you are not alone. You have been brave enough to seek support in whatever format has worked for you. You've been a part of this community. You've adopted this new identity of being a scholarly mama. You are part of a new community of mamas who are purposefully mothering and ambitiously pursuing their goals. You're not alone on this journey. You're no longer navigating this journey in isolation. You are a part of something bigger, a movement of purpose. And I am so glad that you found your way here. Welcome. You're stronger than you think because there's strength in numbers. You are not alone on this journey. The seventh sign that you are stronger than you think is that you know that there is a bigger purpose for your life. You're not here by chance. This is not some fluke. You are here for a purpose. And the way that you get from where you were to where you are to where you want to be and achieve the goals you want to achieve isn't by working harder and burning yourself out. It's by becoming the person who achieves the goal. Unrelated, I remember reading some years ago online. It was, interview prep. And I remember one of the things that I read was this person said, when you go into a job interview, go in there having taken on the identity of the person who already has the job. Now, that may seem really simple and woo-woo, but when you do that, when you take on that new identity of the person who has already achieved the goal, you go into whatever arena you have to go into as though you have already won. And that is what you need to do on your PhD journey as well. Show up for yourself as if you've already achieved the goal. And I'm not talking about arrogance or unsubstantiated confidence or anything. I'm talking about believing so deeply that you are the person who achieves the goal and you hold that belief for yourself in advance. That is within your power, mama. That is the power of belief. Step into that power. It's yours for the taking. The eighth reason that you are stronger than you think is that, and I mentioned this recently on Instagram, I know sometimes as a mama who's doing a PhD, it's really easy to think of all the reasons why you should quit your PhD and, take a different path, or all the reasons why this journey is worth it for you. So you just kind of, just sway to and fro between these opposing thoughts that may pop up from time to time. On one hand, and some days it feels like you can conquer the world. And then on other days, it feels like, what on earth am I doing here? But here is where the true strength lies when you are faced with decisions like this. Here is why you are stronger than you think. Even if you feel unable to make a decision right now about whether or not you are going to continue this PhD journey. Sometimes when you are in the valley of decision, what you really need isn't a rushed, impulsive decision. What you really need is to give yourself time and space and information in order to make the decision. That may look like doing some reading around your options, really exploring those, doing some brainstorming around the possibilities, either direction of that decision, seeking guidance, mentorship, support from professionals if needed, to take that time and space to gather the information to help you make a decision. So an impulsive, rushed decision isn't necessarily the solution to this, uncertainty in the valley of decision. And the reason why you are stronger than you think in that moment is that it takes real strength sometimes when you are feeling the overwhelm, when you are feeling the pressure. It takes strength to take a step back from that and resist the temptation to make a decision that you may regret. So sometimes strength is actually not making a decision at all. As a dietitian, as a clinician, quite often you are faced with patients who are resistant to change. You're trying to support them through some kind of transformation health-wise, and they're very resistant to that change. And what research has shown in that area is that sometimes what's best for the patient in that moment, in those moments, is actually that the decision is now is not the time for that change to be implemented. Now is not the time for that transformation. And that's okay. So the same thing applies to your PhD journey when you're navigating this journey as a mama, feeling that overwhelm, feeling the burden. Sometimes the best decision in that moment is to not make a decision at all and to take some time to reflect, take some space to separate yourself from the source of that overwhelm and really give yourself the opportunity to gather the information, to gather your thoughts and to brainstorm the options. And that's how I know that you are stronger than you think. The 9th reason why I believe that you are stronger than you think is because I know that these trials and tribulations of the scholarly mama experience, they're just temporary. How many times have we thought that some thought that we had was permanent, right? Like, I'm never going to learn to drive or something. No, having that growth mindset, reminding yourself that this trial, this tribulation is teaching you something. So the question to ask isn't, am I good at this? Am I not good at this? Am I good enough? Am I not good enough? It's, what is this scholarly mama journey actually teaching me? Remembering that the trials and the tribulations and the challenges, they are all temporary. You will get through it. This is not going to last forever. The little ones are not sleeping at night. You are sleep deprived. You can barely keep your eyes open to read, much less write your thesis. Remember that this is not going to last forever. These trials and tribulations are temporary. And so the 10th reason why I believe that you are stronger than you think is that I know from experience myself that the only way you truly fail is when you stop growing. When you stop growing, when you give up on the idea of learning from the lessons of life, learning from the journey that you're on. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, I talk all about focusing on the journey and not so much the destination. When you are open to learning from these experiences and these challenges that really serve to strengthen you, they teach you something about yourself. They help you to get better at whatever it is that you're navigating. When you recognize that these are all opportunities to grow and the only way to fail is to stop growing, you will know that you are actually stronger than you think. This isn't about competing and comparing ourselves with other people. This is about owning our journey, using it for our own personal growth, recognizing and paying attention and noticing the lessons that are being served on this journey, really taking those in and working on getting better within ourselves. What is this journey teaching you? What are these trials? What are these challenges? What is this whole experience for? What is the lesson here? The only way you fail is when you stop growing. Don't let anyone make you think that you are a failure. Don't let anyone make you believe that you cannot navigate this journey well just because you're a mama. Is it easy? No, it's not. I won't lie to you. It's hard, but you have what it takes. And how freeing is it to know and embrace that strength? My hope for you is that you will never forget just how strong you are. And when you're tempted to doubt that strength, remember that you are stronger than you think. That's all I've got for you today, Mama. Until next time, as always, I'm sending you lots of love and lots of gratitude. take care. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and if you did and you want in on this movement, please head over to mrsmummyphd.com or scholarlymamas.com. If you want to do your PhD well without sacrificing yourself or those you love dearest, then you need your hands on my free training called the PhD with Purpose Webinar. When you join us inside Scholarly Mamas Explore, you'll get access to this free training and so much more. Remember, Mama, these are our journeys of becoming.